Welcome. Hello. It's West of Everest. I'm Lee. He's Grant. Back here to talk about OU's continued push to the college football playoff, which in turn would provide the Sooners a shot at a national championship. You know, and even though we're still in the regular season, OU's got 2 regular season games remaining, we might as well just reinforce that Oklahoma has effectively been playing playoff games since that loss to Ole Miss on October the 25th. At Tennessee, win. At Alabama, win. The next goal is to get a win at home this Saturday against number 22, Missouri. Coming up on the show today, 3-word reviews from that Alabama win, our reaction to the latest college football playoff rankings, and injury talk. Injury is a problem for Missouri, and they're becoming a bit of a problem for one position group at Oklahoma that is a bit important. We'll also have the latest availability report coming up later in the show, probably pretty soon. And we'll definitely talk about OU's matchup with Missouri coming up this Saturday. So let's get going, Grant. What's going on?
Nothing much, Lee. First of all, I will be deep in the ground before I acknowledge the state of Missouri. And number 2,
okay,
it's a reference. Hat tip Brady Trantham, you'll understand it. Number 2, you say that they've been playing essentially playoff football since that loss to Ole Miss. So a grand total of 2 weeks.
Hey, 3. There was an open week in there.
There's a bye in there, but they played their game on November 1st against Tennessee. Gosh, that was already 18 days ago somehow. We were there. Time flies. What's going on, man? I don't know. It's Wednesday. I don't know what's going on. I'm just
I'll
it's
tell
really
you what's going on.
All of a sudden it's dark at 4 p.m. now every single day, and I don't know what's happening.
Well, I'll tell you what can lift up those dark, empty spirits. Some 3-word reviews from the West of Everest Facebook page. And we went way too long on the post-game podcast, so we're going to read them here and start off with some positive thoughts. And we'll go with Andy. Andy's 3-word review is Tate Sandell money. He's so good. So I was kind of looking them over beforehand. Roberts is pretty funny. Robert says John mid-tier. How has nobody brought that up yet? That's pretty good.
I kind of feel like that had to have been in there before, right?
Yeah. Well, probably other much better podcasts probably have had that. I don't know.
That's the one. That's one of the very few like turns of phrase. It's not a turn of phrase. It's just Gen Z that I've actually adopted. I think is actually pretty that they refer to everything as mid.
Yeah,
I like that. Mid. That's actually pretty good. It's the one good thing about the Zoomer generation.
Mid, I can't remember if we've talked about this on the show. Mid, and also I appreciate sus. I think sus is pretty good as well.
Yeah, I don't like that. If somebody uses the word sus, I am immediately suspect.
I mean, it's more just like I think it's funny. It's like kind of like you can't really use it like actual like mid. You can use that for real. All right, who cares? Ned says Boomer freaking Sooner. Ben says let's prepare Crow. Because we thought Oklahoma would lose, or is this a different Crow? Glad Oklahoma won the game.
Yeah, I'm happy. I even said
not embarrassed about picking against them when they were 5.5, 6-point dogs to Alabama on the road. But
I mean, I even said it was they were in a good spot. They're clearly in a good spot, very much like Missouri is in a good spot this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, maybe. Shane says built SEC tough. Shelly says defense and turnovers. Barry says pick sixes help. Yeah, back-to-back games with defensive touchdowns. James says give it to BV. We'll take it. We'll take it as a 4-word review. He says BV game management, ? As in, it was not good against Tennessee at the end. We didn't even talk about any sort of game management issues against Alabama that I can think of.
I mean,
so
Alabama screwed it all up for Oklahoma. So, as we said, their management of that last drive was atrocious. I mean, that is just I guess I don't really know what the Alabama message boards and local radio is saying, but pretend that this is an Alabama podcast for a second, I would have come on this and would have just destroyed them for the management of that last drive. I mean, that not a good look for your guy, Kalen DeBoer, at all.
Well, I think Kalen gives a lot of autonomy to his OC, and so I think it's probably more on Grubb.
No, he's the head coach. It's ridiculous. Like Brent Venables gave a lot of autonomy to Jeff Lebby, and Jeff Lebby was always terrible at managing the clock. After a while, it's 100% on the head guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Kalen DeBoer. But yeah, OU beating Tennessee and Alabama is more of a pox on Kalen DeBoer and Josh Heupel, honestly, with the way Oklahoma won those games. But yeah, we'll see if Oklahoma can keep winning. More from James. He says special teams difference. Steven says 5-2-1. That's the all-time record against Alabama for OU. Michael says, okay, sure. And then just win, baby. Oh, that was funny. Philip says offense did enough. Hunter says Sandell for Heisman. We can get a kicker to the Heisman ceremony. That would be pretty great. That'd be pretty fun, I guess. But also,
do you think there's any scenario where that's even possible? No, obviously, right? That's just like not in a million years, unless a kicker unless he throws like 6 touchdown passes on fakes and they're all just in high leverage situations against top 10 teams, while also being perfect from. Yeah.
Well, it seems like it's been a while since John Mateer's thrown a touchdown pass, so maybe Tate Sandell should start getting his arm warm. Maybe he can throw some.
Last
touchdown
one
passes.
was the long catch and run from Satania against Ole Miss, right? So it's technically just 2 games. It's like, could be worse.
It's like probably 10 quarters. I don't think he had one in the second half.
Well, yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. C. Randy Park says, control our destiny. Good one. Caleb says, Taylor Wine, huge. Steve says, elation and disbelief. David, mic drop moment. Monty says, defensive turnovers, kill. Chris has a few. He says, Arbuckle was overrated. Another bad hire? ? But then he says, winning is winning, and Sandell, best player. I'm not going to argue with you if you say Tate Sandell is Oklahoma's best player. Guys had a huge factor in the last 2 wins. Let's see. More. Tim says, Arbuckle, Timu, Riley. It's pretty good. Our friend Jared has some, I would no doubt imagine, very sincere and not, I don't know, fake 3-word review. Says, extend Vinny now. Vinny has answers, which, I mean, Britt Venables, they've won the last 2 games, and Britt Venables gets a lot of credit for those wins. I saved one guy for the end because we didn't talk about this at all on the post-game pod. Chris says, this is a reference to our pregame show from last week. Chris says, Sling is dreadful. DirecTV is awful. Fubu is Disney. And then YouTube TV is back. Excellent. Yeah, thank goodness that was resolved last Friday night. That was, man, YouTube TV's product is just so much better than all the other ones. And it was a delight to have that back on Saturday. Lastly, Chris says wine-tipped field goal, wine-tipped FG, and continued defensive turnovers. And we'll go over to Twitter. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go. Yeah, I do think, I think technically Taylor Wine does get credited with a blocked field goal on that. But don't let that awful kicker off the hook. That was not going in, no matter who touched it. He shanked that thing about as badly as you possibly could.
Yeah, I went back and rewatched it because it seemed like a lot of people, and I was listening to all the post-game pods and reading and stuff, were really getting really excited about Taylor Wine blocking that. That was the reason why it did not go in. Please go back and watch it. They didn't show a good, the main angle, the live angle, right off of his foot, guys. That thing is going, and you can see the trajectory of the ball. It's like a helicopter, and so it's already going left. And then when Wine touches it, it barely moves a little bit, but it was already. So yeah, he gets credit for the block, sure. It wasn't necessary though. Save that for future kicks, Taylor, for whenever your block will actually redirect it away from being a good field goal. That would be awesome. Over to Twitter X at Lee Benson tweets. My old friend from News 9, Jed Castle says, focus on finishing. Our friend Brady Trantham says, who is that? He's referencing Davon Jordan. That's who it is. I think maybe when we were watching, one of us might have been like, who is that? Like on that sack. Because like we didn't like see the number at first. And then we were like, Davon Jordan? just got a sack off the corner. That was pretty cool.
Davon Jordan, Josh, like maybe pound for pound, the most impactful player on the defense the last 2 games. I mean, he's only
per play basis.
He's only played like 6 snaps, and three of them have been 3 of the best snaps of any defender on the entire team this year.
I want to say, I think he might have had like a nice PBU in that game too, or at least had good coverage on a play. I'd have to go back and rewatch, but I think I remember thinking Davon Jordan did a nice job on that play as well against Alabama, in addition to the sack. I love it. Good for him. The defensive back play the level of play is increasing of late, and it makes me very happy. Great time of the year for it to happen. Longtime listener Josh says, big boy win, and also still got to improve. Gonzo Strangelove says, he says, more like Tuska losers. Am I right? Also, Sandell's SEC streak. That's pretty good. Gonzo says, think he'll set the record. I don't even know what the record is. Is it like SEC field goal record? Sorry, Gonzo. You should have your own podcast. You know a lot more about this than we do.
I still think everybody needs to calm down. There's still 2 games left. He's still a college kicker. He's excellent, but he's still a college kicker. Because I think he's essentially, he doesn't miss another kick this season, which he's a college kicker, so I'm assuming that he will miss a kick this season.
But he's unfortunately, it'll probably come at a really annoying time too.
Probably. But he's 2 clean sheets away from being, I don't know, OU's first like unanimous All-American in a while for like since the 2000s, or probably I'm assuming Baker Mayfield was probably unanimous All-American, but I digress.
I'm sure Kyler Murray was as well. In that one year in 2018. Gonzo also
Tua was like the Heisman favorite going into that conference championship weekend, and then maybe
all that voting happen after the season though. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know that there's some chud SEC guys who are just like Tua no matter what.
Is unanimous the best one, or is consensus the best one?
Unanimous. Consensus means it was like over like 75% of the got it. And unanimous is literally all of them. Puts you as a first teamer.
Gotcha. Which I'm actually looking it up right now just because I'm curious. Oh no, Kyler did not get it, but Baker did. Unless. Anyways, who cares? More 3-word reviews. Gonzo also wants us to know that the offense is still not very good, and special teams and defense cannot keep bailing them out forever, which, I mean, it's probably correct.
No, not just probably. It's absolutely correct. We'll get into it.
I don't know. I mean, football's a weird sport. I mean, in theory, they could put together a bunch of random other games where they're like pulling crap out of their butts, and then the season gets to the end before it really rears its ugly head. But John says defense wins championships. WP Sooner says, remember Red November. Sunny Hill Sooner, BV's best win. I agree. I think it's true. I think it's better than the Texas win, given the circumstances and the environment.
I think, circumstances, environment. I will aggressively argue that the 2023 Texas team is still the best team that a BV team has beaten at OU.
I don't know. I think Alabama's pretty good, man. That's a good team.
I think that Texas team was a lot better than this Alabama team.
2023. Let's see. BW says hard to kill. I got to say, I'm not the biggest fan of this whole hard to kill thing that they're clearly as a team. I think it's kind of whatever. I mean, if they keep winning, great. But I think I'd have came up with something else if I was in charge there, but whatever. People seem to like it. Critically Pumper Sooner fan says more than alive. Let's see here. Sooner Dad's got some shade for you. He says Grant's still negative. Grant's pretty positive after that game.
You're gonna. Well, I mean, he did this right after the game. He didn't hear me.
Oh yeah, that's
I guess
true.
he
That's
wouldn't.
True.
You may not like the upcoming show, then, my man.
We're almost done. Tiger Mayfield. That's I know he's been in here before. That's just interesting. Offense not needed. I mean, the offense was needed a little bit. Lou says off hot seat. Playoff bye now. I don't know if they would get high enough rank to get a bye.
Yeah, there's
Gonzo has
literally no chance for that.
You have to be top 4, right?
Yeah, it's got to be top 4. There's not. Ohio State and Indiana have already clinched a bye for the most part. The winner of the SEC championship game, which OU has been eliminated from, they cannot be in it, is going to get a bye. Not possible.
Lastly, Gonzo has more. He wants to come in, and he says he's listened to some of the post-game podcasts, and I guess some of the podcasts have been talking about having an Iowa-esque offense, which I made that comment after the game and the post-game show of just like, I can't even remember what I said at this point. But, yeah, I did. I mean, yes, it's very similar to like how Iowa and Penn State have won games in the Big Ten. The one difference for me that makes it better is because OU's doing it in the SEC and they're beating good teams, like really good teams. So it's like, okay, like Iowa was never beating Ohio State. Like they're not beating, like, but they're beating like the Northwesterns of the world. So yeah, it's not great. Don't love that the offense not that good, but at least Oklahoma is weirdly winning these games against pretty darn good teams. Lastly, Gonzo says if Lincoln Riley's defenseless teams couldn't win a natty, Brent's offenseless ones won't either. Normalizing dysfunction is insanity. Yeah, I don't want to normalize dysfunction. That's definitely like a lot more out of the offense would be great.
I don't know if I don't know if I would categorize the offense as dysfunctional. They're just not very good.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I think like, maybe Gonzo means like just like in the big picture because it's been just so Jekyll and Hyde.
Because like I can,
years.
There's one thing about the offense that I can say this year has been genuinely like really good. They've been great in pass protection. I don't think a dysfunctional offense is great in pass protection.
Yeah, so their quarterback would be able to navigate the pocket a little bit better and see things a little bit better.
Mateer is we'll get to it. Mateer's not the guy that we watched on tape at Washington State. He has not been that guy this year.
Period. Playing harder teams, man. It's harder.
That's part of it, but I think
that's most of it. I think there's nothing that you can get up for one or two, one game here and there against like a Boise State, like in a vacuum. But man, when it's consistent, these defenses,
I don't know, man. It's his problems have been like processing and everything, and like this is like his 4th year in this offense. He should know where to go at the ball. Like isn't this his 3rd year in school? No, this is his 4th year of college. He's a redshirt junior.
Oh, so he was with
he was at Wazoo every year.
Really?
And that was because
he sat behind Cam Ward for a year, and then the next year he started, right? And then it's this year. I think this is his 3rd year, is it not?
I think this is his 4th year of college.
Oh, okay. I'm sure we've talked about this before. I forget things quickly and easily. Oh, it is 4th year of college. So he redshirted. Then as a redshirt freshman, he was behind Cam Ward. Okay.
Ben Arbuckle is the only offensive coordinator that John Mateer has ever known at the college level. And so that's why I think, well, I do think like if you want to say that his running ability has been worse, and that is a product of playing better teams, and that's something I would buy. Him just like not seeing guys, and there's something else going on. He's regressed in some sort of way.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think like when they were playing not very good teams, he looked fine. Like he looked good. Like then you play in Auburn.
I mean, did he?
Even
Though?
against
I mean,
Michigan, he was pretty
they
good.
struggled. The offense struggled against Illinois State. They didn't. Not like they lit the world on fire against Temple.
No, like he wasn't like his numbers were still pretty good though. I mean, like they were like slightly like worse than what he had last year, but they were like on pace to be like, okay, yeah, this is the John Mateer that we saw. And but then again, I mean, I do think and he's not going to get a break against Missouri because Missouri's defense is really good. But like Tennessee's defense is nothing special. I thought he was okay. Like he was definitely better against Tennessee. So like when the competition drops a little bit, like he'll play better. I just think he's playing like a bunch of really good defenses here.
To say that explain, but that doesn't explain why he's not seeing guys. It just doesn't.
I think so. I think it does because he doesn't have as much time to process. Because even though you say like the offensive line, like the offensive line pass blocking, sure, but like still he has less time to process everything. And a lot of that's on Ben Arbuckle. Ben Arbuckle's got to make it easier for him. How much of it is his hand still? I think we'll never know. I tend to think, I mean, I like to think that shouldn't matter anymore. But then again, that's also kind of like a weird asterisk, right? I mean, the dude injured his throwing hand, his thumb or whatever, which is a big deal.
I'm gonna keep going back to it. The guys he was throwing to at Washington State last year are better than what he has this year.
No.
Yeah,
not.
and the guy that he was mostly handing the ball off to last year is better than anything that OU has.
Well, that's true. That's true. I think you could put the Satania and Burks and
really, you think
on Washington State last year, and they'd Arbuckle would have gotten those guys a bunch of yards.
You think
stats.
so? You think those guys are as good as a first-round draft pick?
You weren't even into Kyle Williams.
I know I wasn't.
Kyle Williams was good.
I know, and I clearly was wrong about that. He was a first-round draft pick.
Yeah, but like that's one of the players, though. Yes, Kyle Williams is better, but like as a whole, the rest of the guys were fine. Like they just did their jobs, and I think OU's receiving corps could also just do their jobs. And I think a guy like you would hope a guy like Deion Burks would be able to also look a lot better against Mountain West competition. But then again, went to Purdue, so
Deion Burks. Speaking of mid, Deion Burks is pretty mid, as we said all of last year.
Yeah, where West of Everest was right. That's we're wrong. I don't even get into that. It's too many things. All right, 3-word reviews. Thank you for sending those in. We'll go to the playoff bracket. Talk about that.
Yeah, we can.
Oklahoma's in the playoff now. They're the 8th seed. Although it doesn't matter right now, obviously, but it's good to see them in there. They definitely took a jump up after the Alabama win, and I know it's fun to look at the projected matchups right now if the season ended, and right now they'd be playing Notre Dame, hosting Notre Dame, which I mean I know it's been 13 years since they hosted Notre Dame, and that, but for whatever reason that matchup, I'm just like, eh.
Yeah, I'm not super excited about that either.
Yeah,
but I also don't. But I also have no, I have no desire to play Alabama again, though.
No,
and so,
I don't either.
Yeah, but I feel a little. I don't want to even get into this whole like, oh well, I don't even want to be picky with like. I just wanted to make the playoff. It like that would be a successful season.
Absolutely.
I look at it more, and I don't. Notre Dame, I don't know. I mean, it would be Notre Dame comes to Norman. I mean, that'd be pretty electric, you would think. But yeah. I'd rather play Ole Miss. I think Notre Dame's better than Ole Miss. I'd rather play
Notre
Texas
Dame's
Tech.
better than Ole Miss?
Yes, I do.
I don't think so.
I'd rather play Texas Tech in Lubbock than have to play Notre Dame.
Yeah, when it comes to Notre Dame, I mean they're a good football team. I think they're essentially taking the role of old Clemson right now because their schedule is effectively an ACC schedule with USC, and I just don't know if like how much of their schedule is propping up a lot of their success, because after their first 2 games of the season, they have not. I mean, with the exception of USC, who I think is a good team, Um, and that was, I can't recall, was that in South Bend? I think it was because they were playing in like
Yes, it
October,
was.
which still, I mean, that's a good win. I think USC's a good team, but outside of that, man, I mean, they had played nobody. Their schedule is terrible. And so for a while, their defense wasn't very good at the start of the year. It would appear that their defense has gotten a lot better, but how much of that is just because they're not playing anybody? Man, Pitt's awful. Boston College is awful. I was just looking at their schedule a little bit ago, but I mean, I'm sure they're still good. It's just, anyways, yeah. I mean, they're a good football team. It's just I don't know how much they're a product of their schedule. And I mean, I mentioned Clemson. When Clemson was in the ACC and dominating it, they would get to these big games, and I mean, they would lose some, but they also won some national championships. So it's definitely a formula that can be good for a team like Notre Dame.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, I think Notre Dame's really good. I just, I don't know, man. I got a problem with them being ahead of Miami. I just do.
Oh yeah, that doesn't make any
And
sense.
I got a big problem with it. And it's really frustrating to me. So, and it's not going to get any it's not going to get any better. And like you can go and look. I mean, there's people who do like they do simulated like BCS standings and everything about like using what the formula was the last year of the BCS. And it's the BCS standings are basically identical to what the committee rankings are right now. And so I that is kind of surprising to me just because I mean those that Texas A&M and Miami games are doing a whole lot of heavy lifting on Notre Dame's strength of schedule, and they lost both of those games. And I realize they lost those games by a combined 4 points, but it still counts. And I think it's pretty clear that the committee doesn't think Miami is that special of a team, is not particularly good. And so if that's what you think, then you have to factor in that this team that you think really highly to lost to that team. And so I don't know. I'm not gonna get really my panties in a bunch about it. It is what it is to this point. The thing about if you don't like it, it's very obvious. The committee puts a whole lot of weight into you just going out and just smoking teams like they and that's I think that's fair to an extent. Um, but also when you play a really difficult schedule, it's going to be harder to go out and just smoke a bunch of teams. So
It doesn't make any sense for Notre Dame to be above Miami. I'm sorry, I'm just old. Like they have the same record, head to head. Like you can't put Miami below Notre Dame. You just can't. It's dumb. Like and they played similar schedules. Like they're both effectively in the ACC. I mean,
and the
but
only
it just Notre Dame played a couple of tougher opponents and lost.
Notre Dame played a team that's currently 10-0 and they lost. I mean, that's doing a lot of lifting on Notre Dame's schedule right now. So, and it so happens in, you know, Notre Dame has won 8 games and 7 of those games have been dominant blowouts. And that really helps you kind of like, you know, in those nerd models and everything, which I put a lot of stock into. But also I think you have to put more stock into what we know, and we know that Miami beat Notre Dame, and that result can't change. And I think I think Notre Dame is better than Miami. I think even after that game in late August, even right after that game, I would have told you, I think Notre Dame probably wins 7 or 8 out of 10 times against Miami. And Miami just ended up winning that one. But it doesn't that's not how things should work. I mean,
It doesn't matter.
if we went by the nerd models and about like game control and how then I mean, like I don't know if OU's last national championship team would have made it to the national championship game. Like I don't, and so it is what it is though. I mean, for OU going forward, I mean I think, you know, the easiest thing that you can do as a team going forward is just don't lose games. Don't lose games and you're fine. But if you are going to lose games, it helps you out a lot if the games that you do win, you win by a lot of points. Bob
Yeah.
Stoops had it right back in the day. He understood. He understood that, especially being in the Big 12, in order to get like the benefit of the doubt, you had to run up the score. You had to kill team. You had to win by 40.
Yeah, it's just like I don't. It doesn't. But you look at Notre Dame's resume, it's like, so what? It doesn't. Who cares? It doesn't matter to me. It shouldn't matter. Like I don't know. Like I don't know how much stock you put into that. Whatever. Like I always have the same. I shouldn't say always. I'd like to have the same mentality when it comes to the playoff rankings. I'll say my ultimate thoughts until the very end. Like if we get to the end of it and it's the same, and Notre Dame is still above Miami, which I guess it's signaling that's going to be the case right now. Because why would they just flip it at the end? That's dumb. Like, would that have ever happened before in this? I mean, I know it's only the second year of the playoff, but they've been doing the playoff rankings for a long time now, for over a decade, and I just don't. I mean, I'm sure maybe it has, but like when two teams like I mean, Notre Dame's independent, but they're effectively a power conference team with the same record and the head-to-heads not mattering. I just don't remember that ever being the case before, and that's what we're seeing right now, which is very bizarre.
Yeah, and them using they contradict them. I'm talking about the committee now. They contradict themselves a lot. They pick and choose what criteria they want to use for different situations, and it is what it is. I'd have a lot more respect if they just said, we just think Notre Dame is better than Miami, and just be. And I mean, and I guess they are kind of tacitly saying that, but they played that game, and we saw what happened, and it wasn't like. And like I do think that Notre Dame is better than Miami. Like I would pick them on a neutral field and from like a betting perspective. But like that game wasn't flukish. Miami was the better team that day against Notre Dame. Like they did not. That was not a fluky win whatsoever.
No.
Miami beat them. And so in fact, you could probably argue it was almost sort of a bit of a fluke that Notre Dame was in it only down by 3 there at the end. And so Notre Dame's allowed to get better, and they've kind of done what they've needed to do since then. But I think another big thing that is a big problem, and I'm seeing a lot of like national guys finally pick up on this. When I was talking about this 4 years ago about how going to like these mega conferences is going to create a lot of problems because of how unequal the schedules are going to be, and it makes it a lot harder to determine who is the best team in the conferences. Like A&M is 10-0 right now. They haven't played a single team in the top half of the SEC standings this year. And A&M's a good team. They're really good. This is definitely the best A&M team since that first year of Johnny Manziel. But like also, I don't know, they haven't really, and they beat Notre Dame on the road, which is a really, really great win. But they haven't played Georgia, they haven't played Alabama, they haven't played OU, they haven't played Texas yet. They are playing Texas. But like Texas might be favored in that game. And I don't think it'd be that crazy if they are. It's in Austin, by the way.
Yeah.
So, and it's how, I mean, Ohio State hasn't played like any of the top like 6 teams in the Big Ten, and they won't until they play Michigan in 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. Sports talk radio, playoff talk. That's what we're doing here. Let's move on. Let's talk about OU stuff. And we've had a lot of weird technical difficulties tonight recording this, so let's jump in. We, in a way, it has helped us because we got to the injury portion of the show, and we have an availability report because before when we started recording, we didn't have it. So, Grant, I'll throw it over to you. Hit this up. I know you have some Brent Venables type background, and then the availability report is now available. Obviously, as you listen to this show, you'll know already. Okay, well, we'll show it right now.
It's just right here in front, and so I would say this is the cleanest availability report they've had all season.
It's been, yeah. It's like, what does that mean?
I really, really like that Jaden Jackson is not on there. And obviously it's nice that Xavier Robinson or Torrey Blaylock. And Blaylock wasn't on it last week either.
See, but then he was out for the game.
Blaylock wasn't out. He played. He
Oh, sorry. I thought, nope, you're right. Yeah. I for some reason I heard Taylor Tatum. Because Tatum was out.
Right. And so I don't know. I expected to see Xavier Robinson on there, and so it's a little surprising that he's not on there. And OU is not Brent Venables, and they're not Lane Kiffin. They don't play games with this report. Like I think they're pretty earnest with this report. They're not lying to anybody. They're not trying to fool anybody. So, Jaden Jackson was a surprise addition last week, and he only played 12 snaps on Saturday, and he did not look healthy. So, Jaden Jackson is obviously injured. So nice not to see him on here on this week. It'll be different on Thursday and Friday, I'm sure. It'd be R. Mason Thomas at this point in time. I don't think there's any need for him to play in this game at all. Missouri is gonna be at a 70-30 run to pass clip in all likelihood in this game, so I'm not sure that you even need to mess around with it. Gentry Williams, it'd be nice to get him back. He was probable and then he was doubtful, so my assumption is that I don't know. Am I being fatalistic by saying that? I just don't think we're going to see him again this year.
Well, the last time you said that about a player, it was Eli Bowen many weeks ago, and
Fair.
Thankfully you were wrong about that.
And he seems just perfectly healthy now, which is great because
same position group too.
Yeah, all of a sudden I feel really good about Guillory and Bowen as the 1 and 2 guys.
I feel pretty good about Davon Jordan and Jacoby Johnson coming in to spell them.
Yeah. So,
which is weird. It's very weird to admit that.
Indeed. Let's see here. And Bo Perbula is doubtful. Okay, so we can put that to bed. That was going to be sort of part of. I had that as a topic on here because it was, Matt Zenitz and Pete Thamel. They tweeted earlier this week about how that there's early optimism that Bo Perbula may be available for the OU game. I immediately started to think, that's someone leaking, trying to play games, trying to get OU to prepare for him. I think from what I understood, he dislocated his ankle, and from what I was like, that's like, and I was surprised. Like, he warmed up before the Mississippi State game, so like the fact that he can actually walk on it, I think is almost like a minor miracle. So I don't really know how that works, but so Bo Perbula is not going to be playing quarterback for Missouri on Saturday.
No, he's not going to play. And the key to this, and I mean, you go back and did you see his injury? Go back. There's no way he's coming back and playing.
It's gross.
It's nasty.
Yeah, it did not look good.
No, like you can't be back in like full strength in less than 3 weeks or whatever it was going to be. So when I went back, because I didn't see it until this week, because I knew he was hurt, but I hadn't watched it yet. When I went back and watched, it's like, oh yeah, he's not going to be healthy. That's nasty.
But I was surprised to see this because I didn't know this, and it's not surprising that like he's trying to hold on to some sort of hope. He's a senior. His career's over. Like, he's not going to play in the NFL. So, and I mean, who knows? He could be like a CFL guy, or I don't know, what are those fake football leagues that start after the NFL the XFL, and I don't even know what it is anymore, but it's unwatchable.
I think it's the UFL now.
Is it the UFL? Yeah, because then they merge or something. Nobody cares. No one watches it, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, Bo Perbula is not playing football anymore, and so he's probably just like, I just want to play more football if I possibly can. So,
I don't know if he's been around that long.
He's a senior.
I do this, really?
Yeah, unless and maybe it's like it's one of those things where it's like he's technically a senior, but if they really, really had to, they can find some extra eligibility for him because. I don't know, because I mean, this is his 4th year of college. He's listed as a senior on ESPN, on Mizzou's website, but like,
wow,
kind of hard for me to believe that he's played over 4 games in every single year, like at Penn State. Like, I didn't. So we'll see. I don't know, but he's listed as a senior, so his career very well it may not matter. Like, his career may be over, so maybe he's just trying to get anything he can out of it. But anyway, so yeah, it's looking like there is going to be a true freshman quarterback starting for Missouri, and like, he's just gonna, if he's in a position where he's got to drop back and diagnose a Brent Venables like pressure defense for large portions of the game, then the game's not going well for Missouri anyway. So, I don't know. I've watched a couple of those games. Like, I watched a lot of that Texas A&M game, and he's really good at turning around and handing the ball off.
Okay, sorry. As you were talking, I was doing some research. It looks like Perbula, I do believe he has 1 more year of eligibility next year. So I think he's able to come back and play.
So it's like this is his, kind of like Mateer, it's like this is his 4th year of college, and maybe it was like maybe he never had like a declared red shirt or something, but he probably still could go back and take one.
Maybe, and I wonder if like what the medical red shirt, is that what you just said? Medical red shirt rules are?
Well, he's played too many games to get a medical red shirt.
Oh,
like
really? Okay.
Yeah, he's played in 8 games this year. Like it's far too much for a medical red shirt.
You can always petition the NCAA. You know, they're kind of
the
irrelevant
rule
now. Maybe
the rule is though you get 4 games until it hits against your eligibility. So that's why I was thinking like even his very first year at Penn State when he was just a true freshman, it's hard to believe that he would have gotten into 4 games that year or 5. It would have to be 5 games that he got into to use that year of eligibility. And so maybe it's like he just has never had like a declared red shirt, but I think you can retroactively do it if you didn't play those games in a year. I can tell you're getting bored, so move on to your.
Well,
your
no,
next
I
point.
just, I mean, I think before you make a claim of this guy has no eligibility left, you probably should like just double check to make sure that.
I just don't care about it as much as you do. I didn't used to. I saw that he was a senior, and like a lot of the times now, if somebody has the eligibility, they don't.
ESPN, they don't do red
shirt
stuff. They just say senior. They don't have any specifics.
They do red shirt stuff. I was just going through their roster today, going through all of this stuff.
I was on Alabama's roster all last week, and I was looking at all these guys that some were red shirt, some weren't. But on ESPN, it just said they were senior or junior or freshman. They didn't have the red shirt status next to it.
Like I went through and like I have all of like Mizzou's key players here, and I went and looked at their profile on ESPN today, and some of them had red shirts on there.
All right. Well, I found an article about Bo Prabula when he transferred to Missouri, and it says that he has 2 years of eligibility left, so he's able to play next year. Oh, now I want to look up Missouri's ESPN stuff. Just what are we talking about now? We've got the Bo Prabula thing. Running back situation. I mean, it's good that Xavier Robinson's not on there. It's good that Blaylock's not on there. But are we led to believe then that they're fine? I mean, obviously it's late in the year. They're going to be banged up and stuff. But
well, I mean, I think we can just deduce with our own eyes. Second half of the game in Tuscaloosa, Xavier Robinson is not fine. I mean, he's pretty clearly like very banged up. So I didn't like I kind of went through all of the Venables and Arbuckle availability this week. Most of the stuff just kind of puts me to sleep these days. But yeah, Venables said that like these next 2 weeks, because somebody specifically asked about the running back rotation, that these next 2 weeks are really going to test their depth at running back. And he said they're going to have to spread it out a little bit more. Although when I watched it, when I read the quote versus watching it, I started to ask myself, I was like, is he saying they need to spread out the carries more? Or is he saying that they need to like spread it out more, as in go empty and just chuck it around the yard more? Oh, because like, did you watch the? Because that's
no, I haven't seen it.
If I wouldn't have read the quote and just watched his media availability like I did on YouTube earlier today, I would have thought, oh, maybe he means like spread it out, as in like go 5 wide and throw it.
Well, stay tuned for the game to find out which one it is.
Yeah, I guess. But so, and I guess we can sort of transition more into just like the broader Missouri preview then. I guess I will preface this, and this could just be because, hey, they got a huge win at Alabama that I wasn't necessarily expecting, despite me thinking that it was a good spot for them. And now that they won those 2 road games, and now they're coming home with 2 very, very winnable games in order to go to the playoff. Something that if you would have told me this before the season, I would have been elated. I'd been like, yeah, and that was before, and their schedule hasn't ended up being anywhere near as difficult as the rhetoric was before the season. It's ended up being way more manageable than I think anyone could have imagined. But it's still a challenging schedule. And if you would have told me this was the spot they were in before the year, I would have been just over the moon, thinking that's great. That means they're playing at at least a top 10 level, and they're playing at a fringe top 10 level right now because their defense has been so good. I'm telling you, I felt better about the Alabama game last week than I do this game on Saturday. And so I don't know if it's just because I'm scared, just because like now it's in front of you and the reality is different. But Man, Xavier Robinson's not healthy. Torrey Blaylock hasn't looked healthy since the second half of the South Carolina game. Javonte Barnes was questionable on that list. I I don't know exactly what's happening, but I'm pretty sure Javonte Barnes is in the whole. He's just trying to save his eligibility so he can go and play one more year somewhere else next year, which is a smart move for him. Just to try to get some more football.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some FCF school that would love to bring him on.
He's gonna if he play, he's gonna play at UNLV next year. That would be my call. He's a Las Vegas guy. So, but Taylor Tatum, he's gotten one carry this season. I think he's maybe gotten more than that, but he got a carry. He got like a token carry in the South Carolina game.
So weird. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he got re-injured on that carry for like a loss of like 4 yards. He's not on the injury report, but is this the week where we finally see Taylor Tatum? I mean, I don't know. I mean, he's been on a milk carton ever since the start of October, basically a season ago. So over a year.
That's been one of your good early predictions of like he's not going to be a thing.
He's just whether it's not
injury or just can't figure it out. Yeah, I think you've been on that because I was really hoping he would be.
I was hoping so too. And so now it's like, I'm not very good at math, but I'm pretty good at counting like bodies in a room. And so right now the running back room is made up of the corpse of Xavier Robinson, the corpse of Torrey Blaylock. We think probably the corpse of Taylor Tatum. Javonte Barnes is he's on the injury report, so it's obviously fair to assume that he's also injured, but also not a lot of that really adds up. So I think he is just kind of opted out. They only have one healthy body in the running back room, and we all know who it is.
I know. It's the position coach, DeMarco Murray, right?
Oh, God.
By the way, you said that Brent Venables doesn't mess around with the injury report, you don't think, but you're accusing him of messing around with the injury report, Javonte Barnes. So, which is it, man? Which is
That's
it?
fair. I mean, but also he's questionable, so he's not, whatever. He's either opted out or he's also not fully healthy, and even when he is fully healthy, he doesn't look like he's fully healthy. So, I don't know what's
Jaden Ott is just incredibly disinterested, I think, in football.
Yeah, I think that's fair,
and also
too.
just this team, it would appear. But
yes.
I mean, yeah.
And I'm not even saying this to suggest that it's time to unleash Jaden Ott. No, I'm saying that ain't going to happen. We're not going to see Jaden Ott on Saturday. That's not going to happen. No. And anybody talking themselves into it, like, that'd be a fun story. It'd be cool. Like, it'd be hilarious. It'd be hilarious.
It would be. I'm not sure it would be more funny if Jaden Ott goes for like 150 and 2 tutties, or as much as I laughed whenever Jackson Arnold fumbled last year and Missouri returned it for a touchdown. I'm not sure it would be more funny because just really funny moments in the history of OU football. But one of them's actually already happened. The other one is just theoretical.
So I bring all of this up just to say, hey, like the last month, really the only thing that's been working for OU's offense is the run game. And it didn't work at all against Alabama, but I don't think they really stuck with it long enough. And also, their lead back got hurt before halftime. And so, whether it's, and it looks like, because they're not on the injury report, I mean, Robinson and Blaylock are going to give it a go, clearly. But what if they are just so banged up and they are who we saw in the second half against Alabama? Missouri's defense is good. Their defensive line is good. Like, they can stop the run. Like, they got no problem doing that. And so now you're talking about your quarterback having to lead your run game, and he's got a broken thumb, plus still probably some weird little nagging knee issue. None of this adds up very well for Oklahoma going into this game. They really, really need to snap out of this passing game malaise that they've been in since the end of September. They have to. They need to. Otherwise, this is tough. I mean, like, as good of a spot as I thought OU was in last week at Alabama, man, this is a great spot for Missouri. Real good spot for Missouri. They're healthy. You have OU coming off an emotional high win on the road. OU has played better on the road this season than they've played at home. OU is not healthy at the running back position, which is the only thing that they've been able to rely on to move the ball in the last month and a half.
Yeah, well, they're healthy at the exception of quarterback, which is the most important position on the field. And everything you're saying is true. That's why the total in this game is where it's at. I mean, the total is...
What is it?
Do you want to take a guess?
42.5.
Ooh, that's pretty close. You're actually high. You're too high.
Is it 40.5?
41.5.
Okay.
41.5. And so I went and looked. There's only 4 games in the entire country that have a total lower than OU Missouri this week.
Ugh. Is Iowa involved in one of them?
Thank you. Great question. No, Iowa's total against Michigan State is higher.
Wow.
Yeah, I put
That's
a tweet
interesting.
out.
Okay. Well, yeah, and I guess we'll get listen, OU's offense has been a lot better than it was a season ago. But that's not hard to do. It's not hard to do at all. OU's offense, relative to what the expectations are at the University of Oklahoma, OU's offense stinks. Like it's not good. And it hadn't really been good at all since the Michigan game for the most part. And that was game 2. I think there's a very real world where OU is exactly like they were against Alabama, against Missouri on the offensive side of the ball, unable to move the ball, unable to sustain long drives, and Missouri just doesn't throw a pick six and doesn't fumble.
Well, hopefully Missouri doesn't also force turnovers. Missouri had 2 defensive touchdowns last week. Like, are you kidding me? Against Mississippi State, who has, their rush defense looked terrible. So bad.
But there's it's so hard. Like I've said, and when we get to our picks of the week, I keep saying it, where it's so much harder these days to find value in college football betting these days because the lines are just so much better than they were even 2 years ago. And this game opened at OU minus 9.5. Is Vegas crazy?
It's for the record. I want to say whenever I predicted what it would be on the post-game show on the franchise, I said 6.5, 7, and that's kind of where it's at now. It's anywhere from 7 to 7.5. I don't know, and that was I knew that Pribula wasn't obviously going to play. I didn't know he wasn't going to play, but I assumed he wasn't going to play. Yeah, I think it was 9, 8.5 or 9, and it's obviously gone down.
But
it's
I think it's a good and Missouri has by far the best offensive player in this game by a long shot. And
yeah, Hardy's good. Both their backs are good.
Yeah, and I'm not suggesting that Missouri is gonna is gonna go for 6 yards a pop on OU and control the entire game on the ground. No, OU's gonna stuff them a bunch of times, and it's gonna be. But if you told me that Missouri wins this game 16-10, would it shock me? No. And yes, I realize where Oklahoma is. They're over their win total. It was 7.5. Everything out the rest of the way is kind of icing on the cake based off of preseason expectations and really what they were supposed to be. And I know a lot of fans and stuff hey, they got to win the national championship, stuff like that. Which, yeah, you want that. And they're in a position where they technically still can. Oklahoma, they can make the playoff. But, yeah, you're exactly right, man. What this game is Missouri's defense is really good. I hate to admit it. I kind of wish they were a bit of a paper tiger. But, they played some good teams, and some good offenses, and they've shut some offensives down. They slowed Alabama's pretty good, even though Alabama had the ball quite a bit. The big one for me is doing what they did against Vanderbilt. They lost to Vanderbilt, but I think Pavia and that offense is really good, and they held Vanderbilt down to under 300 yards of offense. I think in Nashville too. So they've been tested. A&M's offense is good. A&M kind of had their way with them for the most part, and that was A&M's more of a complete team. It was Zollers' first start, and it was kind of close for a half-ish, kind of until that just disaster
lost fumble. Anyways, so and Oklahoma certainly is not as right now. They're not as balanced as Texas A&M because Oklahoma's defense is excellent, but the offense just is not getting it done. But at the same time, I do kind of think I don't know. I mean, even though Mateer has been Mateer and he's not been great, I do weirdly think that there is possibility that they could snap out of it and start making some plays here and there. But it's all kind of a hope, and we've seen it happen earlier in the year against a good defense in Michigan. Some good things against a really good defense in Auburn. It's just John Mateer's got to figure it out, man. He's got to start seeing it. He's got to start making some throws. Ben Arbuckle's got to start. He's got to call some shot plays, man. You got to have some shot plays in your playbook. Make John Mateer unleash it. It's almost like he's not wanting to throw it deep, but maybe there's just not. I don't know. Like every good offensive coordinator has some shot plays where it's designed to get a guy going deep or a deep crosser or something like that. The offensive line can protect, man. They can give you some time to throw. So, but yeah, no, this is an incredibly losable game, no doubt about it. And it would just, this is Brent Venables. He's all like, hey, the whole hard to kill thing, and they've won the last 2 games. He gets all the credit in the world in a difficult environment. And now they're a touchdown favorite at home. The last time they were at home as a close touchdown favorite, they lost. A lot of pressure on Oklahoma this weekend.
A lot, and none on Missouri. And this Missouri team's a lot better than the one that OU played a season ago. Like a lot better.
Defense is a lot better.
Offense is a lot better. They couldn't.
Well, it's just their quarterback stinks. This guy Zollers is bad.
Yeah, I know, but like also that's not what their offense is built on though. Even with Perbula was there, that wasn't the case. Their offense is built on turning around and handing it to the second best running back in college football.
True. But also, I mean, Perbula can move. He can run. I mean, that's a part of his game. And Zollers he's not like a statue, but he's not Perbula. And also, what's the best defense that Missouri's seen since probably Auburn, maybe? I mean, they played A&M. I don't know. I mean, A&M's defense has gotten a lot better over the season.
Auburn's defense is better than A&M's. It's probably Alabama. I think Auburn and I think Bama and Auburn are probably kind of duking it out for who's better on the defensive side. They're probably really.
The thing is, though, Alabama's strength is not stopping the run. They're actually not very good at that. Auburn can stop the run. I mean, they're good at it. And that game was a slow-scoring slugfest. I don't remember what Hardy did against Auburn. I guess I can look it up. But I mean, that game was a game that Auburn could have won. It was so darn low-scoring. But that's the thing. I mean, and that's everyone. This is easy. I mean, Oklahoma's strength is stopping the run. Missouri's strength is running the football.
And I don't
Oklahoma's
think
got to stop the run
outside of Michigan. And Michigan's actually. We weren't necessarily sure going into week 2, but Michigan's been pretty terrific running the ball this year. They didn't look like it against OU, but Missouri's quite a bit better running the ball. I was about to say, I don't really think OU has played a good running team this year, like a team that's just like really good at running the ball. I guess you look at Kejuan Lacey has had a really really good season for Ole Miss, but a lot of their success in the running game came just based off of what the quarterback could do with his legs. So, whereas Missouri's different. I mean, Missouri runs like a weird
touchdown.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah. Missouri runs like sort of like a weird, more like NFL style like zone running scheme that is like built on like old like zone like stretch, like kind of like similar like what the Colts used to do with Peyton Manning and Edgerrin James. Like they run a lot of stretch, but it's out of the pistol instead of under center. And that can get a little effy sometimes. And it's like it's not always super easy to stop. And what I will say about like Oklahoma's defense is great. It's a great defense. I mean but they'll miss some tackles. They've done that all year.
And Ahmad Hardy is really good at getting out of tackles. That guy's a really good player. And he does have this guy does have breakaway speed. He can run away from guys. And so he's a good player. If it makes you feel any better, though, I'm looking at the Auburn-Missouri game, and Auburn shut down Missouri's rushing. I mean, Missouri ran as a team. Missouri averaged 2.1 yards per carry as a team in that game. And Hardy had a couple of touchdowns. Guessing they're short touchdown runs. Hardy 24 for 58 and 2 touchdowns.
Okay, and if Hardy goes for 20, 24 for 58 on Saturday, Missouri's not winning the game. That's just not happening. So,
well, that might mean that Jamal Roberts has gone for 15 and 150.
Yeah, I know, who is also really good, I suppose. So, I think this is why, like, of the 2 home games here, if OU's going to lose one of them, it's going to be this one. It's going to be this one. Missouri, even with the freshman quarterback, is a lot better than on offense than LSU has been this season. Like, LSU can't hasn't done anything well on offense this year. Even when your quarterback is hurt from Missouri, at least you can turn around. You can rely on like one of the best rushing attacks in college football. So I just think, I don't know, a good defense and a good run game. Those are the things that kind of travel. And I expect it to be like a very hostile environment. I think it's going to be really loud on Owen Field on Saturday. But I guess I necessarily haven't seen like a lot of OU fans being extremely confident about this game. In fact, most I've seen people are like, yeah, it's going to be a slugfest, like low scoring, kind of tough. I think most OU fans kind of understand what OU's offense is at this point in time. But I don't know. It's going to be a tough one.
You want to talk about what we want to see happen?
Yeah.
I can get going. What I want to see happen for the Oklahoma offense in this game, easy thing. And I mean, this is much easier said than done. Oklahoma needs to get up. They get up, take the lead. If they can get up by 2 scores, that's the key. I mean, it'll make. I mean, Missouri's already going to be very one-dimensional on offense, anyways. But if they put any sort of pressure on Missouri and they force Zollers to have to throw it here and there, it should be lights out. So I want that to happen. Now, that what are the odds of that with Oklahoma's offense? Probably not very good. But that's the formula. How about this? Can Oklahoma? I know that you essentially took out bubble screens of the playbook last game. You won them more, but then you decided you didn't want any more. Well, I mean, A&M had some success on the screen game.
I want a specific bubble screen taken out. The ones that are thrown to Isaiah Satania, where you ask, 5'9" Deion Burks to block, and also, I mean, there's just like Mateer's struggling to throw them. So, like every single one is Satania
you can't
this
be
season
struggling to throw.
Exactly.
Struggling to make those throws. So yeah, I mean, A&M scored on a long 48-yard touchdown, little quick, little wide receiver screen, 2-on-2, where they had the right tackle come out as well and help with the block. And as Concepcion, that seemed like a pretty easy pitch and catch. Missouri will give you some cushion here and there, and there's going to be, even though Oklahoma's not taking the free yards really at all anymore. I mean, that's another reason why the offense is slowing up.
I think I think that's the big thing. I think a lot of teams are just shrinking the space because they're just like, oh, you can't beat us deep anyway, so why would we allow them to have the free stuff? And it kind of seems like even when Alabama was giving the pre-snap look of giving the free yards, that's when Mateer almost threw 2 pick sixes because they knew that's what they were going to do.
You got to go to the right guys. I mean, I feel like he won't go to the right players. And I mean, Simpson also made that mistake a couple of times as well, where he should have. We talked about it on the post-game podcast. There was the one where he threw the dig to Jeremy Bernard, where he should have just thrown a little 5-yard curl to the tight end, or a little out to the tight end who was wide open. But anyways, so that's kind of what I've seen. Obviously, you want to see the running backs look healthy. I mean, if the running backs are actually healthy and can run it, I mean, they can stay on schedule and run the ball against Missouri. Missouri's rush defense is good, but Oklahoma's seen Auburn, Michigan, good rush defenses, and they've done some things on the ground, done enough to keep things on schedule. And again, I'll go back. I want to see some design called shot plays, something that is designed to get a guy wide the heck open. See what Missouri does defensively. Something that's creative. Ben Arbuckle's creativity seemingly has not necessarily been there, and got to get John Mateer out of a funk. That's too bad that Missouri's defense is as good as it is, because could have used a Tennessee-like team that has a good defense, but is not quite as good as the other teams they played. What do you want to see?
Well, I first and foremost, I would like to see them they have to stop the bleeding in terms of getting banged up on the offensive side of the ball. So, Xavier Robinson is going to be what? Like, I'm just throwing a number out there, 70% healthy going to this game. He better be 70% healthy leaving it as well. Same with Torrey Blake. Maybe Torrey Blake, because he didn't, not like he took a lot of hits last week. Maybe he is able to recover a little bit and he's able to regain a little bit of what he showed in September and October. I'm going to keep beating the drum. I need to see Jaren Kanak more involved in the pass game. I still don't think it is I don't think it is a coincidence at all that OU starts struggling to throw the ball as soon as they stop throwing it to Jaren Kanak like every other play. It's not. I don't think it's rocket science. Sategna's had a terrific season, pound for pound. Whenever their offense has been at its best, Jaren Kanak has been the best pass catcher on the team. Get him involved. He's terrific after the catch too.
It's
I talk about
good.
I talk about bubble screens, getting like those need to be thrown to Jaren Kanak.
What I was going to say, it's not a good look for Arbuckle that he has not found ways to get him the ball, because the best offensive coordinators find ways to get the balls into your playmakers' hands. And Jaren Kanak is a playmaker. We just have not been reminded of it since September for the most part. Yeah. I don't like that either. I'd figure it out.
I'd like to see, I think Keontae Lewis only played like a handful of snaps against Bama, never saw any targets or anything. I'd like to see him kind of get back to his form. That would obviously help a lot. I'd also like to see Jermichael Carter. Let's see if he can continue to make a few plays and whatnot. And then, hey, how about another clean sheet, another solid game for those three freshmen on the offensive line? I think that's going to be really important. I think if there's anything that you can get on Missouri's defense, I think you might be able to throw it on them a little bit. Like I think that is where they're the most. That's where that's their biggest weakness on defense. Even though they rush the passer pretty well. They got three really good pass rushers, and so probably not going to be as much time as they had against Alabama. What do you want to see on defense, Lee?
Let's see. The same formula as last week. And granted, Missouri is excellent at running the ball. They're one of the best rushing teams in college football. But Oklahoma's maybe the best rush defense in college football, given the teams they played, like the offensive they played, and how they're still able to shut teams down. It's between them and maybe like Indiana or Ohio State at this point, whatever the numbers say. It doesn't really matter. But typically in this sort of one-on-one, especially considering that Bo Perbula is very unlikely to play, and Missouri should be even more one-dimensional than normal. You know what they're wanting to do. You got to, as a defensive coach, defensive-minded team, that's got to be something that you got to be able to just shut that crap down. I mean, it's when the defense knows it's coming and they're this good at stopping the run, shut that crap down. That's number one. Number two, hopefully it's another situation where Oklahoma does not necessarily need their secondary players to assist in stopping the run. Granted, now in a game with a team that's very good at it, maybe you do need a little bit more secondary help, safety help, corner help. But, man, if they can still do a lot of work with the front seven and stop it, and they get out ahead, this can be a fun day for the secondary, man. A really fun day. Now, granted, you're not going to see a whole lot of pass attempts because they don't want to throw it with Zollers. But, boy, Peyton Bowen, RSJ back there at safety, reading this guy's eyes. They're in passing downs. He's going to bring you right to the ball. Dude stares everything down. He's a typical freshman. He played a little bit better against Mississippi State. Mississippi State's defense is bad. Threw a pick, stared it down. The Mississippi State linebacker just read his eyes and just jumped it. Zollers will tend to put a lot of air under deep balls, and it just floats. Just floats, man. Like, turn your head, and the ball's going to be right there just floating into your arms. Or if you're a safety, read his eyes, come over the top, it'll float right into your arms. This guy is, from what I've seen, he's a true freshman. And he's in an offense where the coaches know he's very limited. Know it. I mean, against A&M, it was a disaster. A&M's good. Against Mississippi State, a little bit better, but it was all the rushing game for the most part. I think he did have maybe 2 touchdown passes, or 1. It was mostly catch and run. There was a couple times in Mississippi State where he was throwing on schedule, and you could tell he felt a little bit more comfortable, but that's Mississippi State's defense. Oklahoma can't let him get comfortable, obviously. So I think this could be, if Oklahoma does its job stopping the run, this could be a really, really, really fun game for the secondary players.
That's a Mississippi State defense that gave up like 350 yards on the ground too, which means that they're, you're going to be in very advantageous spots to throw the ball against that anyway. I think number one, what I would like to see, obviously, other than just like shutting down the run, because that's a duh. But when you are in, because they're like Missouri is going to try to sneak one past you. They're going to try to throw it on first and second down every now and then. They're definitely going to do that. OU, shrink the space. Do not give them any free yards, especially against a freshman quarterback that's a limited passing attack. Do not give them space to maneuver. Shrink it. Be up in the receiver's grills the entire game. And if they decide to throw the ball, have a freshman quarterback look over and like, oh, that D-back is right on top of my receiver. That's gonna make him pause and think about it for a second. So don't make reads easy on him. Everybody close up to the line of scrimmage. That's just the type of game this is. If he hits a bomb on you, tip your cap and then you can adjust.
It'd be the first time.
It'd be the first time. Tip your cap and you adjust if that's the case. But it would, if he can do it on you, then whatever. He hasn't done it against anybody else. If he does it, it's probably going to be okay, I guess like the math worked out that time. Another thing just with Missouri's zone, especially the outside zone rushing attack, I know just from watching a lot of NFL ball, it's like that means cutback lanes are there a lot of the time. And that's going to be on, the guys who are supposed to be in the cutback lanes. I'm assuming, Brent Venables is a smart guy. He understand. You would think that he understands that. And so that's going to be drilled into them all week that you have to stay in your gap. If you're on the backside of this play, you got to remain on the backside of this play. We're not chasing. All right. You trust your teammates on the defense. That is one of the best in college football, right? Do your job. Don't get upfield. Don't be an All-American when you don't need to be. So I think that's really what it is. I mean, you put Missouri in third and long consistently in this game, and that's very, very bad news for them. And so just if you got 2 or 3 guys around Ahmad Hardy, bring him down. You got to bring him down. Do not let him get an extra 2 or 3 yards. Hit him, bring him down. Make it 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. OU is going to be in good shape in this game, at least defensively. Offensively, I'm not sure. What is going to happen?
It's worth real quick. It is. Well, no, I'll get. I feel like I wanted to hit on one. Yeah, no, great point on the cutback lane stuff. The long Justice Haynes touchdown run is just in my head. I mean, that's a situation where Oklahoma over pursued and the back end safety didn't clean up, and Haynes cut it back through a hole and it was gone. I mean, Ahmad Hardy's really good at that. I mean, he had one of those, had multiple against Mississippi State, and even had some stuff against Texas A&M as well. So yeah, very disciplined with your rush gaps, your rush lanes. So hopefully Oklahoma's good at that, stopping the run. So what will happen? Yeah, I mean, we talked about the total. It's 41.5. I mean, Vegas is telling you not many points are going to be scored. Weather should be beautiful. Last I looked, I mean, it's an 11 a.m. kick, but I mean, I think the high on Saturday is going to be 50s, maybe even touched in low 60s. 11 a.m. I mean, it's going to probably be in the high 40s, early mid. I mean, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be great. Good football weather. So weather's not a factor. I like to think Oklahoma's going to win the football game. It's just, it's like, we've given a lot of credit to Brent Venables for the last 2 wins, as he deserves. He and the team deserve. That's, once again, the question is, how does Oklahoma handle success in a scenario where, fortunately, Missouri's quarterback is not very good and he's not their main starter. So that's a huge thing. And Oklahoma's defense is excellent. And Oklahoma's defense is very good at stopping the one thing Missouri's very good at on offense. So that side of the ball, that matchup looks pretty darn good. The other side of the matchup doesn't look all that good right now. And, can Oklahoma force another turnover and score on defense? Of course they can. Statistics tell you it's unlikely just based off of the way odds work. So, but also, how much do we trust Brent Venables? That's kind of what I was getting to. Is like, we gave him a lot of credit the last 2 games. Can he get his team up in a situation where they're favored? When Oklahoma has been favored this season, now I kind of look back at their schedule. We talked about the Ole Miss game. Favored in that game, great spot given what was coming up after that game, and OU loses.
Pretty sure OU's 8-2 against the spread this year. No, they didn't.
So they would have.
They didn't cover against Kent State, and I don't think there was a spread for Illinois State. So God, no. So what they
didn't cover against Kent State. They shut them out. I can't remember what the number was, but they won 44-0. But
maybe
I mean, OU
maybe they did cover in that. So that they'd be 7-2 against the spread. The only ones that were their 2 losses. They were favored.
Actually,
games.
I think they were. I think their first 5 wins. I think they covered all 5 of those games. I mean, Illinois State didn't. So obviously Texas, that was a weird one. I mean, they didn't. They lost. South Carolina. So really, I mean, Ole Miss. So yeah, you're right. I mean, it's only been to 2 games, but those were games where there was some expectation, right? I mean, going into the OU Texas game, even with Mateer injured, they lost. Granted, there was some expectation against South Carolina, and Oklahoma took care of business there, because I do believe they were favored on the road in that game, if I remember right. And so good for them there.
Yeah,
that's a really good job.
They were like 6.5 point favorites in that, I think.
But then coming back home, some expectation. So what I'm getting at, this is tough. I'm kind of with you. I think if they win this, I think if OU wins this game, I think they're going to beat LSU too. Like that tells me that they've kind of figured something out. And these are 2 winnable games. So I put it this way. I don't know what the score is going to be, but I'd take Missouri plus the points. That's where I'll leave it. I'll take those points in a really low total game where Oklahoma's offense has struggled.
I think this is a game where if OU wants to be taken seriously or more seriously than they already are, this is a game that they should win. I think they should win this game. But I'm with you. I would be very confident if I was like a neutral observer just trying to pick the game. I'd be very confident in taking Missouri to cover this spread.
But then again, here's the play devil's advocate, and I forgot to mention this, and that's before I was going to bring this up. And I mean, this is a very generic, obvious thing everyone knows about, and the number, it's going to be put in the number, but I mean, Zollers, this will be his 3rd start. His previous 2 starts were at home. I mean, he's going to be on the road. First, true freshman on the road. Maybe it's a good thing that's an 11 a.m. kick, I guess. I mean, I don't think it matters. I mean, the crowd's going to be wild. I mean, OU, I was there for the Ole Miss game. It was great. It was, everyone wants to tell you it was the greatest thing ever since sliced bread. It might have been the best ever for an 11 a.m. kick, I guess. And this one's going to be right up there, too. OU's got to give them something to cheer about, because it wasn't great against Ole Miss until that push in the second half, that long Xavier Robinson touchdown run, those stops on defense. So, and early in the game, obviously, the fans are going to be in it. I mean, they're going to be making it loud for Zollers. So that's kind of the one part where if you're a neutral observer, like, man, you're going to really, even though you're catching 7, which is a lot of points, it's like you're really going to put your money on a true freshman quarterback against this Oklahoma defense. Like, that's kind of crazy. So you definitely want the hook. If you can get 7.5, you'd rather have that than 7, which I'm seeing 7 at some places right now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like a genuinely ugly, disgusting football game. I think OU's going to win. I'll say like 14-12.
That would be a really ugly game. And I'll put this. We'll end on some positivity, because you and I were kind of like, be careful out there for this one, which I think is totally fair.
This one there are a lot of alarm bells for this game, big time. I mean, if OU was coming into this game with a top 10 offense, they win this game by 40. But they're not. It is like, in terms of effectiveness, this offense is closer to last year's offense than the offense that we have in our head that is acceptable.
Oh, yeah, no, you're exactly right. By the way, I was around the high on Saturday in Norman right now, 63 degrees. So, it's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be beautiful. But in a little bit more positivity before we move on to the rest of the show. The way I'm taking this, if Oklahoma loses this game, going back to the Jackson Arnold and the potential of Jaden, to me, I'm going to laugh. It's going to be funny to me, because it's just that everything from here on out, based again off of their preseason win total, is kind of gravy to me. I mean, they've won 8 games this year. They've overachieved technically, and they're in position to do even better things with this defense and stuff. But if they come in and they blow it in a game like this, to me, that'll just be humorous, honestly. Like, okay. I mean, we're kind of back where we were. I hope they win.
I mean, if
they don't, like then
in a very sick, twisted way, I guess I can assure you, everybody, that if they lose this game on Saturday and we come on the spot, I am not going to think it's funny. I will not be in a laughing mood.
And what they'll do is if they lose, they'll probably bounce back and they'll probably beat LSU and they'll probably finish 9-3, and then we'll just be like, all right, well, enjoy the whatever SEC bowl game they're going to be in. That's not the playoff, and it's like what could have been, but still a good season.
You have a man. You got to win 2 home games to make the college football playoff. And you got probably a top 3 defense in the sport. You can't lose these games.
You can't.
Just can't do it.
They may not. And they may not. This way, if Brent Venables wants to sell you and I on more than, I don't know, the next year or two, you got to win these next 2 games, man. you got to make the playoff. You got to take care of business whenever things are lined up and set up just as good. And your side of the ball, Venables, has been great. Has been awesome. And figure it out on the offense, man. They got to do just enough. But you lose this one, or you lose the LSU and you go 9-3, still a good season, but what could have been?
And if they, like, let's say, just for the sake of argument too, because, you know, I've been pretty pessimistic here. They come out on, let's say, just if they come out on Saturday and this game goes almost like exactly like the South Carolina game went, then you can start to convince me. It's like, oh, they may have found something. Like, they may have found because remember how that game started? They went right down the field and scored a touchdown the opening drive of the game. Immediately up 7-0. And outside of, you know, that one drive at the end of the first half, South Carolina didn't do anything on the offensive side of the ball, which is, you know,
except for avoid tons of sacks. Lenore Sellers avoided like 100 sacks.
Indeed. So yeah, OU comes out and wins this game like 27-7, and it's just like, and their defense is forcing a lot of 3-and-outs, and they're just kind of keeping Missouri at arm's length the entire time, just being kind of like, yeah, you're not. We're sort of messing around, and you can't even get close to us. Like, then I'll start to be like, okay, they may have somehow in between, you know, that Ole Miss and Tennessee game, maybe they found something. They found their stride. And I hope that's what happens. I mean, I want to go to the playoffs so bad. Like, I really want them hosting a playoff game. I want it so bad. And I think those guys want it too. We'll see if they can get it done.
I want this game to play out similar to the Michigan game, but Oklahoma separates a lot sooner. That's what I want to see.
You can say, yeah, like Michigan game, but they don't make some of those stupid, like, special teams errors. You know,
like the bad Mateer pick.
Bad Mateer pick. The roughing the punter deep in in Michigan. Satania fumbled the punt in that game. So yeah, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, if it's like the Michigan game without any of their, like, massive mistakes, then yeah, I mean, they're going to win the game by 3 scores.
Well, because, like, they ended up winning the game by multiple scores, but and there was never really, with the exception of the Justice Haynes long touchdown run, it was like, but then the defense, for the most part, kind of shut that crap down, and then the offense was like, okay, Oklahoma was able to keep them at arm's length for the majority of the game. So, I mean, that's kind of similar to your South Carolina example as well, to where it's just a workman-like, yep, this is what we do. And that's what good teams do, right? This is a very one-dimensional Missouri team. Their one dimension's very good, but their side of the ball is excellent. So
one-dimensional on offense. Their defense is good. Their defense is good. Like, I think even with Zollers, this Missouri team, you know, is definitely like a top quarter of the Big Ten team for sure.
The Big Ten?
Well, yeah. Which is,
like, for comparison's sake?
The SEC and the Big Ten are the only conferences that matter. So, yeah. All
Texas
right.
Tech's going to have something to say about that.
Texas Tech's really good. They're really good. Although I'm skeptical of some of their analytical numbers, just because I saw OU's defense get all the way up to like very close to first overall in defensive SP plus in the first 5 games of the season when they weren't playing anybody who could complete a forward pass, and Texas Tech has not played a single team that can complete a forward pass this year. So there you go.
My, the Big 12 has changed.
Indeed. All right, let's move on here. Lee, I am going to coin this Saturday as, and if you're listening to this in the car with children, I'm sorry, I'm going to coin this Saturday as Assy Saturday. Straight up, this is the worst Saturday of games, I think, since conference play has started in earnest in college football this season. It's a bad week. It's a bad week, especially it's because it's FCS week in the SEC. So, man, there's just a lot of just
your face is great.
Games this
so
week.
Good.
Like, God, Miss Lippy. Ugh.
Well, let's just go to the picks then. There's no need to. I mean, is there any way you want to particularly highlight any of these bad games that?
No, I don't, because well, I guess let me go through. I guess Tennessee and Florida is part of our picks. Good God. Kentucky and Vanderbilt not part of our picks. Got any thoughts on Kentucky Vanderbilt?
I would say Vanderbilt should probably win that one.
9.5. It's in Nashville.
How long is Mark Stoops going to be around for? Remember when A&M almost got him?
Yeah,
allegedly.
I think they're probably pretty happy with how that one turned out. Other games, other non-SEC games that aren't part of our picks. Louisville and SMU is a massive game in the ACC. Don't care about that game.
Okay.
Michigan is on the road at Maryland. I don't think Maryland has won a game outside the month of September since like 2017. That's not true, but also it rings true. It's not true, but it rings true. TCU and Houston's ranked. They're 23rd. I didn't know that.
I think Houston's interesting, man, because I guess I don't know if they have a path to the Big 12 championship game with Willie Fritz. I don't have my handy-dandy spreadsheet that I created. My external hard drive I used it today at work, so I don't have it on me. I forgot it. But it's not worth talking about now, but I'm kind of curious if Houston has any sort of outside chances to still win the Big 12. Because
I mean, it's still a really good season for Houston. They were really bad last year. And this year, they're 8-2 right now, and they're ranked going into the second to last Saturday of this. I mean, that's a great season for them. So no, there's a very realistic possibility if and it's going to be part of our picks, the BYU Cincinnati game. If Cincinnati wins that game, there's like a really real possibility of a 5-way tie at second place in the Big 12.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that would be Houston would be part of that 5-way tie. So it'd be between like BYU, Cincinnati, Utah, Houston, and did I say Cincinnati already? There's another team in there too. That would be part of it. So that's just absurd. But I think it's and when it gets to 5 teams,
yeah.
Well,
Arizona State, I think, is the
one. That's
Arizona
right,
State.
Yeah. When it gets to 5 teams, and this is smart, I think the tiebreaker is the highest ranked committee team of the committee rankings, which would be Utah. And Utah is the second best team in the Big 12, so they should probably just put their fingers on the scales there and just say, yeah, we're going to put Utah in. All right, let's go to our Week 13 picks. I'm not going to share my screen because I don't want my computer to blow up. We've had enough technical difficulties this evening. Man, okay, did you went through and changed everything? Are you sure you went 1-4?
You're really poor at grading. Like you're always giving me more wins than I get. So
okay,
like you're really nice brother. Apparently you think I'm doing a lot better than I really am. But yes,
yeah.
I double checked both of our scores. Yours was correct. Mine was you credited me with a winning week, and I was far from that. I had a terrible week.
I mean, we had crossfires. We had a lot of crossfires.
I'll tell you, man.
I don't think
I went 1-4.
All right. Well, I'm gonna off the air here. Like, I guess you're being like an upstanding guy, but I think you're wrong. So I will.
We'll go into the previous
Nah, I'm good.
rundown. That's right
I'm good.
there.
I mean, I worked off the previous rundown. So
we had a few. Well, yeah, we had three crossfires, and you were 2-3. So, I mean, I got it right here. We were both on Louisville, and once that went to 3, I was like, that's definitely a Clemson pick. But on our show, we had 2.5, and Louisville just stunk it up. So we both lost that one. We were both on USC. USC didn't cover.
we both lost that.
Yeah, so I was on Georgia. That was the one I got right.
Okay, yeah. And I was on Texas. I got that one wrong.
Yeah,
so I was 0-3.
The last, and you got the last 2.
What were they?
Missouri. You were on Missouri. They ended up, because with the help of 2 defensive touchdowns, were able to really extend it over Mississippi State and just terrible turnovers.
Okay, yeah.
Excuse me. And then I was on TCU, and BYU spanked TCU.
Yeah.
You were on BYU.
I am bad at counting. I said earlier that I could count. Not so fast.
You said you were bad at math. Well, yeah, bad at math, but you can count. Is that what you said?
Yeah. And you can count on me waiting for you in the parking lot. Okay. All right. Not the SEC game of the week, but maybe the second biggest SEC game of the week, because OU's playing in the SEC game of the week. This is a rivalry game. Did you know that? Arkansas and Texas, that's a rivalry game. Anyway, the game's in Austin. Texas is an 8.5-point favorite. I'm pretty sure I have gotten every single Texas game wrong this year in the picks, which is harder than just kind of, if you really think about it, that's just as good as getting them all right.
Oh yeah, true.
It kind of is, like, from a statistical standpoint. Gosh, man, I don't know. I'll just go with Texas here. Arkansas is like, they're woof.
They're bad.
They're bad. Yeah, that's just like a.
Of course, Notre Dame plays an SEC team on their schedule this year, and it's Arkansas.
It is like quite clearly the worst team in the SEC. Yeah, I'll go with Texas.
Are they worse than Kentucky? Are they worse than Kentucky?
Kentucky's had some, like, I think Kentucky won last week, and I don't know. I should put the Kentucky Vanderbilt game on here.
In Arkansas's defense, since they fired their coach, Bobby Petrino, I got to say, they've had a lot of close games. Like, they only lost to Tennessee by a field goal, only lost to A&M by a field goal. Somehow they got beat by Auburn by 2 scores, but only by 3 to Mississippi State. They lost last week to LSU by a point. So they played close games. That being said, give me Texas. I will lay the 8.5. There's no chance I'm gonna, especially considering that Arkansas, they'll have Missouri next week, and that'll be kind of like their Super Bowl, trying to get a win at home against Missouri.
What's your opinions here on just like sort of the drama surrounding Sark, where it's like kind of seems like he's definite, like he is, like, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but he seems like a realistic candidate for a guy who maybe not, who might not be there next year. What's your bet? Like, I'm more of just like any sort of time Texas can have dysfunction, I'm all for it. But I
haven't heard anything about it. I mean, if Sark's not the coach at Texas next year, that'd be great news for OU. He's a good coach.
I think so too.
So I'm not sure who they would get. Is he and Lincoln Riley going to trade places, or?
Oh wow, I don't think Sark is welcome at USC anymore.
I don't think Link's welcome at. Oh, I mean, Link would be welcome at Texas, but he doesn't want to be in the SEC.
No, yeah, he don't want to play there. I don't know. I'm trying to think of. I was listening to Through the Keyhole today, and Alan Kinney made the point. He's just like, well, I don't know. He said like, if Sark leaves, he's kind of scared. What if Texas gets someone who's better? They could. Should it's gonna be my canned response that anybody should hire anyone. I should go and hire old Casey Keeler over there at Temple. He's a good coach. He's a good coach, man.
Maybe I think if Sark leaves, maybe Texas should probably hire like Les Miles.
I agree. Mike Gundy, maybe get Gundy in there, the Gunster. I want to. There's something I wanted to bring this up, and this is going to be a perfect transition to our next game here, which is USC and Oregon, which is a terrific game. I'm excited to watch that game. But they were on through the keyhole earlier today. I was listening to it. They were having a conversation, and they were questioning are we sure that Dan Lanning is a good coach? And come on, guys. Dan Lanning is 34-5 at Oregon. He's awesome. Like I'm not so sure Dan Lanning isn't the best coach Sig is the best coach in the country. I think I'd take Dan Lanning next, probably, and like a coach draft.
Man, I have to think about it. I mean, I like Lanning a lot. That being said, I do think Oregon's a little overrated this season.
I think they've played a really easy schedule. I think they've played one good team this year. They've played two good teams. Iowa's pretty good. And they struggled with Iowa, but everybody kind of struggles with Iowa and Kinnick. And then they lost to Indiana, who's a great team. But
you could argue at the time, Penn State didn't know that they were bad at the time.
Penn State is still like Penn State's not. They've had a bad season, and they're like, but Penn State's not terrible. Like they're still they still have a lot of NFL players on their team, and
yeah.
But anyway, my whole point is that Dan Lanning is a terrific head coach, and he understands like fundamentally what college football is about, which is like beating the crap out of people.
So you said about Sig.
Yeah, they get it. And that's what you're supposed to kill teams. That is what you're supposed to do. And they get it. Like none of this just like, just got to be 1 point better. No. You want to be 41 points better than the opposition, not 1. Anyway, USC and Oregon. Oregon's a 9.5 point favorite. I'm just going to kick this off. This is an easy Oregon pick for me. I like Oregon by 17 to 21 points.
Yeah, I mean the line tells you Oregon. That's for sure. But I've been beating this drum for a while. I like USC. I think they're a good team. I like Lincoln whenever he's especially a big underdog. A lot better as an underdog than a favorite. And yeah, I think this Oregon defense is going to be tested. I mean, USC's offense is really good. Actually, I'm kind of curious what the weather's going to be like.
Who are you taking? It's supposed to be like mid-50s and overcast. Okay. I will say, if USC beats Oregon and OU wins out, USC is going to be playing in Norman in the first round of the playoffs. That will be happening. So, I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting. Actually, wait, no, because Alabama is there, and who knows what's going to happen with Alabama. Actually, no.
It'll be probably like around like noon in Eugene when this kicks off or so. 12:30. The high in Eugene is on Saturday is a comfortable 54 degrees, partly cloudy sky. Oh, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna be beautiful up there. Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to watching that game too. I don't know how it's gonna go.
What's the deal? Are you like taking USC to win, or are you just taking them to cover?
I think they're gonna win the game. Yeah.
Why? What about Lincoln Riley's past leads you to believe they're even remotely capable of keeping this within 2 scores?
I think Lincoln's starting to grow up a little bit.
Because like USC's
their
defense
is not that bad.
It's not that bad, but it's also not good.
It's solid. I mean,
it was better last year.
Like it's I don't know. I think it's better this year. Well, last year wasn't very good, was it?
Their offense
was
is
improved.
A lot better. Their offense is a lot better this year than it was last year.
It is. I just think, I mean, they're year 2 under Danton Lynn, and their offense is terrific. I don't think Oregon's offense is like that crazy good. I mean, they look good against Minnesota, but who doesn't? I mean, Minnesota, like when they play a good team, they get their butts kicked.
Yeah, they're Gophers suck.
No, you're right. I mean, you're saying it all year. There's a bad football team. So I guess more of here's a theory I'll use. Again, I like Lincoln as a big dog. I think he gets his teams. I mean, you want him as a dog, as a favorite, especially on the road. No thanks. And I think the defense is better than really a lot of the defenses he ever had at OU, and the offense is terrific. So the ingredients are there to potentially shock Oregon. It's going against Dan Lanning is tough. I think Lanning's a great coach. So I don't know. Just kind of have a weird feeling about this one. I mean, I want it to happen. I want USC to win. I want to see them win. So it's more of just me like wanting it to happen. But I do think there's a formula there for USC to shock the world. And I really don't want to buy that Lincoln's trying to get out and go somewhere else. I think just stick it out in Southern California, man. Keep it going. Make the playoff.
Okay. What is probably the ACC game of the week? Pitt and Georgia Tech. Yeah, we're picking that game. This is a fishy line. Georgia Tech's only a 2.5-point favorite over Pitt. Just a really bad Pitt team, but Georgia Tech's also kind of bad. So, just like the entirety of
you're right.
Just like the entirety of the ACC, I think I kind of have to. But also the hook there. This is the exact same situation as Clemson Louisville last week. It's the exact same line. It's like I think it's almost the same rank. Was Louisville number 16 last week too?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm gonna learn from my mistake, and I'm gonna take Pitt. No, never mind. I'm taking Georgia Tech. I can't do it.
I will happily take Georgia Tech. I think Pitt stinks. I think they're not good, and Georgia Tech's been good at home. But yeah, why is the number 2.5? That is a weird number. There's got to be a reason behind that, and we're not experts on Georgia Tech football.
I mean, I can tell you that the betting models, the analytical models, think that Georgia Tech is pretty mediocre because they haven't played anybody or beaten anybody good.
Well, I mean, yeah, but Pitt hasn't either. They have like no good wins this year.
Yeah,
this is like all the good teams are playing are last week and then the next 2 weeks. That's like they were 7-3 or. Yeah, or 7-2, and then like they're going to finish 7-5. So it's like just like they're kind of a mediocre team, but that is still Georgia Tech's got to be better than that. Is somebody injured? Is Haynes King like out? I mean,
no.
I get that Georgia Tech almost lost to Boston College.
Yeah,
but like they didn't lose to Boston College. Well, yeah, Give me Georgia Tech, especially under a field goal. Yeah, give me the Yellow Jackets.
All right.
What a weird number.
It's super weird number. But Georgia Tech, the ACC is real bad. It's real bad. They should start for these other conferences that aren't the SEC or their Big Ten. They should get rid of the conference championship games, and they should just pick who their representative in the playoff is going to be. That's just who it should be. And like, I mean, I don't think Miami's anything special, but Miami is like pretty obviously the best team in the ACC. So, but they don't. Miami doesn't play any of these teams that are like in contention. So it's very, very odd deal. All right, Saturday Night Football on ABC. Oddly, because the SEC has pigeonholed themselves into these time slots that they pick in the summer before anything is even played. Tennessee and Florida is your primetime ABC SEC game when it should pretty obviously be the OU game because it's the only ranked on ranked matchup in the conference of the week. Tennessee is a 4.5-point favorite in the Swamp. I think I got to go with Florida here. I think that's the right play.
Yeah, that's what that number's telling you. Yeah, me too. Give me Florida. That's another squirrely line. I don't know. Like, what does Tennessee have to play for still? I mean, they're not going to make the playoff. I mean, I know they want to go 9-3, I guess.
I do think, I think I saw something crazy. I don't think Tennessee has won at Florida in over 20 years. So that should be like a whole lot of motivation for them. Like that's you want to end that streak.
Is that, I mean, another one of your claims that's not true?
It could be, but I don't think so.
It could be. Okay, they're playing in Gainesville, right? All right, so
yeah.
2023, that was a Florida W. 2021, that was a Florida win. 2019, okay, we're on the right path here. Florida, Gainesville, okay. Hold on, that's fine. When's the last time? Oh, you might, yeah, I think you're right about that.
was like 2001 was the last time Tennessee won then, and that was when Phil Fulmer was the coach.
2001 Tennessee was victorious 34-32 in Gainesville.
So we're talking about nearly like a quarter century.
Also in 2003, Tennessee won.
They won in 2000. Okay.
2005, Florida won, and maybe that's when it started. Maybe it was 2005 when it began. Looks to be, maybe.
So 2003 was the last time they won. So it's been 22 years.
Oh, my gosh.
Is 22 greater than 20?
I believe so.
Boom, baby. Kaboom. So that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of history there. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I'd be into that, even though I know like these kids these days, they don't care about history. But nobody's, like, a lot of these dudes weren't even born yet the last time that Tennessee won there, and they play every season.
Well, not every season in Gainesville, but
not in Gainesville. Every other year in Gainesville, but the teams play each other every single. You know what I meant. Okay. Night game at Nippert Stadium, Cincinnati, Ohio. BYU is a 2.5-point favorite over the Bearcats. Lee, we've seen a game in that stadium. It's fine. It's okay. Logistical nightmare getting in and out, but
Yeah, wasn't great. Do you think college students will have signs in the crowd that says "Nip at night"? Or is that too old of a reference that they won't even use that because Nick at Night's from like 20 to 30 years ago?
Oh, that's what you were referencing. Huh. Yeah, no, I don't think they would do that.
No.
Because they certainly wouldn't know what, they would know what Nick at Night is. Come on. Ridiculous.
My gosh.
Pretty easy call for BYU here. Anytime that Cincinnati has played a decent team this year, they have lost by a lot of points.
Yeah, I feel like I've been on the wrong side of BYU all year, and typically I'm going against them, so I'll jump on them. So congratulations to Tawi Walker and Cincinnati for their upset win on Saturday.
Maybe throwing the entirety of the Big 12 into chaos. Who knows? Wow, we are. Gosh. All right, just to recap here, Lee, you and I are on the same side in 4 of these 5 games. Texas is an 8.5 point.
In a long time.
No, it has not. Texas is an 8.5 point favorite over Arkansas. We are both on Texas. Our only crossfire of this week is USC and Oregon. Oregon's a 9.5 point favorite. I'm going with the Ducks. Lee is going with his boy Lincoln Riley. Thinks he got a raw deal in the state of Oklahoma.
I just think back to his last game when I saw him on the field pregame and said, "What's up?" I didn't say it. He was like, "Hey man, I'm leaving after this game." But I didn't tell anybody though. I'm telling everyone now though. He told me.
I'm going to stop you right there. Lee, I'm not going to be the next coach at Louisiana State University.
And what did I say? You know my name?
Oh, my goodness. All right. In maybe the funkiest line of the week, Georgia Tech is a 2.5 point favorite at home against the Pitt Panthers. We're both on Georgia Tech. I meant to bring this up as we were breaking down this game. How about Narduzzi before their game against Notre Dame last week going out and basically saying, I don't care who wins this game. You didn't see that? Yeah, he was just like, it's what's most important is that we win our last 2 conference games. What a freaking loser, man.
At least he didn't say what's most important is we just have fun out there.
All that matters is that, we get some fresh exercise or some fresh air and some exercise.
We're gonna eat right afterwards. Maybe have a snack at halftime.
God, jeez. All right, we are both on Florida plus 4.5 at home against Tennessee on Saturday night, and then we are both riding with the Mormons in Cincinnati, 2.5 point favorites against the Bearcats of the Big 12 conference. I don't know why I'm talking like this. No idea. I got kind of confused there. I was like, wait, is Cincinnati the Mormon team? I don't know. That was going through my head.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. Lee, any other final thoughts before we just close this thing down?
I do, and we've already gone way too long, unfortunately. And I honestly don't really have a whole lot of thoughts on this. I haven't had time to think about it. I'll just bring it up because it's interesting, and it's a guy that I've given a lot of crap to over the years, and I will continue to. And I'm very fascinated to see how this goes. But James Franklin to Virginia Tech,
Oh,
like in season, like not even the first one hired. I just find that I find it interesting in the sense that I don't know if he was going to be a guy that a bunch of these big other jobs would go after. I guess probably not. But him jumping at, I don't know. I mean, who knows who else offered him, but him like being the first guy hired is kind of interesting. But avoiding the Big Ten and the SEC and going to the ACC might be a smart move by him. Go to the Virginia, who the program that has history, that probably can recruit well, given he's supposed to be a pretty good recruiter. So again, I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on it. Like I don't know if it's going to be a success or a failure. I don't know. I personally don't think James Franklin's a great coach, but he does have skins on the wall because he did a great job at Vanderbilt. And then his record at Penn State was really good, even though I think a lot of it was fraudulent. But Von Tech's an interesting little move for him. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think objectively on paper, that's a really good hire for Virginia Tech. Don't know if it's going to work out either. There's been plenty of on paper great hires that haven't worked out, but I think that one is. Say what you want about James Franklin. I don't think he's a great coach, but I think he's a good coach. I think his biggest sin at Penn State was that he wasn't able to turn them into Ohio State, and I don't think anybody can. I don't think anybody can do that. And so, I mean, I guess some people could, like Nick Saban in his prime, Urban Meyer could have. But so yeah, I think it's a good hire for Virginia Tech, especially. And like you're right, the ACC is straight garbage, absolute straight garbage, and I think he can have a lot of success there. So, but yeah, that being kind of the first domino to fall, I think is really interesting, especially with. Like, we haven't even talked about all the Lane Kiffin stuff, which honestly, that's approaching circus territory. That stuff is dumb. Lane Kiffin should. And this is just one guy's opinion. He should so very obviously stay at Ole Miss, where like I think he can win a national championship there. I think a lot of stuff would have to go right, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
he can get good. I mean, there's resources there. I don't know. I haven't really followed it. I mean, a lot of this stuff is. I mean, who knows if he's just trying to get a raise? I mean, I don't know, but good for Lane Kiffin though, man. Like. I remember it was just like yesterday. He was coming to Norman with FAU, kind of just rehabbing everything, and then boom, now he's like one of the hottest commodities out there. A scant 7 years later. So the thing is, he's a really good coach, but I wouldn't like if he was OU's head coach, I'd be kind of like, I just don't. I think he's got a ceiling. But
maybe, but also I think if he did, like, let's just say if I'm him. And staying at Ole Miss is not an option, and you do have to pick between LSU and Florida. I think you very obviously should go to LSU, because at LSU, that is a place where bad head coaches have won national titles. In fact, their last two coaches who have won a national title, bad head coaches, have won a national title. Lee, you and I could win a national title there. I'm only half joking, but
we have. I don't know. I'm not sure where I was going with that. We have not. I got to get back to those improv classes. I'm starting to lose it.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, they're not all winners. Not all winners. You gonna end the show or should I end it?
Oh, yeah. This is episode 410, and I'm gonna end the show for the first time ever.
Should we just end the show for good? Last episode ever after.
It's a surprise, everybody.
All right, I'm going to go down to Norman probably on Saturday. I have no idea if I'm going to go to the game or not. Probably the same thing I did with the Ole Miss situation and check tickets. I expect the tickets to be a lot more expensive than they were for the Ole Miss game, though, given the weather's going to be great and everybody's super excited. So don't think I'll probably go to the game. I don't know if I want to drop like $200 to go to the game. That seems like a little pricey.
Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, and also, I didn't bring this up, but I kind of have to say it now. I'm going to be in the state of Iowa for the game on Saturday. So,
oh, cool. I guess.
The last time that was a thing, about a month ago, it did not go well for our home squad.
Was that Ole Miss?
Yes, it was.
Jesus, it's already been almost a month. Well, Okay, guys. Well, enjoy it anyways, and it should be fun. Hopefully Oklahoma wins and make us all super happy on Saturday and Sunday. We can get back on this podcast and talk all about it. So until then, for Grant, I'm Lee. This is West of Everest. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe to the show. And if you want to help us spread the word, please leave us a 5-star review. And also, tell all of your friends who are OU fans about West of Everest. You can listen to this podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and SoundCloud.